I'd like to call the Nash County Board of Education Committee meeting to order. We will start out with Chair Mr. Jenkins, Administrative Services and Operation.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that, I left my glasses at the house. That on? All right. Need a roll call. Let's see, Mr. Gray, Ms. Chavis, Mr. Lamb.
Here.
Mr. Whitfield.
Here.
All right. All right, Ms. Saunders.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
On behalf of Dr. Ellis, we would like to gain your approval for the budget amendment that is posted out.
Anybody got any questions? This is the action item, right? So we can carry it to the, need a vote, carry this to the full board and a motion. You got the motion?
Second.
All right. Mr. Gray? Yes. Aye.
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Mr. Whitfield?
Yes.
All right, we will carry this to the board, Monday? Is that when it is? All right, and I said Saunders again, I meant Sanders.
It's all right. You're not the only one.
Don't hold that against me. All right, thank you. Ms. Wallace, Kelly Services, this is for information only.
Good evening, Chair Lamb, Vice Chair Bissett, and President Board members. So we're going to tag team this presentation today, and I want to give you an update because we talked about some concerns regarding the funding for Kelly Services moving forward, especially when Esther went away. I do want to introduce Denise Fazio. She is the account manager with Kelly Services, and she is our liaison here. And Caroline Clayton is the Client Services Director for Kelly Services. So I'm going to allow them to begin the presentation, and then I'll come up back on the final end to bring it home.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon. Chris, Ricky never approved the minutes. Ricky never approved the minutes.
So we're just gonna do a brief background about Kelly Education, who we are, what we've accomplished, here in the last 4 years. We're just finishing out our 4th year here with everyone. So who is Kelly Education? So Kelly Education has been supporting pre-K to 12 classrooms since 1997, from substitute teachers and paraeducators, which are TAs, to custodians, nurses. Kelly Education is focused on helping school districts recruit, hire, and train the staff they need, not just to survive, but to thrive in today's ever-changing. That's just a little bit about us. This is just kind of a nice visual. It explains a little bit about what we do. So part of what we do is recruiting, also screening. We also do hiring and onboarding, training and orientation, scheduling and reporting. So a lot of you are familiar with Frontline. It used to be called ASOP, now it's called Frontline. So that is the scheduling and reporting, managing quality control, also retention, professional development, and recognition. And you'll understand this a little bit later after the slides that explain that a little bit more. So a little bit more about us. We are the nation's leader in educational staffing. A little bit of stats. We have over 25 plus years in education. So like I said, we were established in 1997. 10,000 plus school partners across 42 states. 50,000 absences handled each school day. 4 million plus classrooms filled by our substitutes just in the 2022-2023 school year alone. So this is just a nice map. We do operate out of 42 out of 50 states in the U.S. In North Carolina, we have Nash, Robinson, Rowan, Charlotte, Mecklenburg, and Swain counties, and we are growing. So kind of give you that nice visual. We have a big presence in South Carolina. That's where Caroline is from. She just drove up about 5 hours from South Carolina today. to be here with me. So we've just listed, give you a nice map, and we've listed a bunch of counties that we work in, plus 21 more, and recently we just got, which county are we working with now? Spartanburg 7. So that will be 37 and counting for South Carolina. So just a little visual. This slide right here is specific to Nash. We wanted to talk a little bit about exactly what we have done here in this county over the last 4 years. So this is just a nice visual. We started in year 21-22. Our fill rate that year was 77.78, and we filled 16,193 absences and vacancies. Then we went into the next school year, 22-23, and our fill rate increased up to 87.27%, and we filled 21,874 absences. The next school year, 88.74, we jumped up a little bit. For that fill rate for that year, we filled 22,840. This school year, we are at 96.61, which is pretty great. We filled 13,102 absences so far this year. So that's specific to Nash, and that just shows what we've been able to accomplish here in our partnership with you all. So for this school year, we have hired 227 new substitutes to give us 370 substitutes total. Absences and vacancies that Kelly covers in Nash County Public Schools. So there's a variety of things that we do help with. We help with daily absences, which includes regular education, special education, and pre-K. We do same-day call-outs, plus planned absences. We have noticed, and it happens every year around this time, there's an increase in same-day teacher call-outs on Fridays. Middle schools and high schools, we kind of tend to see that a little bit higher. So we just picked the data out to show you. So on Friday, April 4th, 11 out of 15 unfilled absences were input that same morning. So those are things that we help with. We do give them incentives to take absences on Fridays. We'll put them in for a drawing so they can receive something special if they're going to come in and fill in those absences. So we do our part to help with that this time of year when the weather turns. It's just something that happens. We do help with long-term and short-term vacancies. So teacher vacancies, meaning a job has not been filled yet, you haven't hired anyone yet for the position, so we have someone in there. Sometimes they're in there for the whole year, half a year, just depends, until that person can be hired. We do fill a lot of maternity leaves, that happens quite often. That's kind of 6 weeks or longer. We do have substitutes that will go in and take those, and fulfill that need for you all. Sick leave, FMLA, which is short-term and long-term. And front office or departmental assistant support staff. So I know we have someone at the front office, I think it's Rocky Mountain Middle School, has been off for a while, has been sick. So we have someone that's been filling in for her, and she's going to remain there for the rest of the year. So that person can really get better. So that's just a little bit about what we do on a daily basis. Substitute training. So what we have in place, this is what every substitute has to take this class. It's called Class Marks. It's a 2-hour required virtual training. It's very similar to the effective teacher training that Nash Community College used to provide back when you all hired your own substitutes. So it's very similar to that. It's going to go over laws and policies, routines and adjust, influencing the learning environment, protecting the student well-being, physical safety and emergency preparedness, very important, managing the classroom, very important as well, instruction, lesson plans, and meeting student needs. So they have all of that prior to even starting their first day here with us. We have additional training for EC and pre-K because they need to be trained in a few more special things. It's called Child Smarts. It's also a virtual training. Daily duties is included, a typical day, credentials, whatever they need for that, promoting a safe environment, hand washing, diapering, allergies, feeding, shaken baby syndrome, and SIDS. It used to be SIDS, now they put a U in there to throw me off. But you know what I mean, SIDS, special education, concepts, misconceptions, first aid emergency preparedness, procedures, mandated reporting, and behavior guideline policies. So all of our EC subs and pre-K subs have that training. This one is specific to North Carolina. They have a lot of qualifications now in this state for pre-K. So these are all of the things that I have a person that helps me out. Her name is Toby. She's out in Las Vegas. And we partner together and we try to help with all of these things. So step one, they have to have their background check through the State Department. The cost for that is $26.50. Everything you see in red is costs that we accrue and we pay for our substitutes to go ahead and get these things accomplished. So that's something that we incur as a cost. Fingerprinting, they go to Rocky Mountain Police Department, they get fingerprinted, and then that's how their letter comes back, so that they have that qualification. We do pay for them to get their pediatric CPR and first aid training. We're actually working with Nash Community College this summer for some training classes. It's a great time to train our subs in the summer. Those certificates only last 2 years, so we need to renew those pretty often. So we are in talks with them right now to get that set up. We do have an in-person skills test for the pediatric CPR. They can do the test, take the class online and then go for their skills test. So if they choose to do that option, that's a cost of $45. And then they also do this training on the Positive Alliance, Childhood Alliance website. That's in suspicions of child maltreatment. They have to take that course as well. That course is free, so we don't have to pay for that for them. And then they have to do the Moodle. So this is what the DHHS website requires, and that lists down there, everything in blue, all the different classes that they have to take. So there are 7 of them that they do take, and all of that, once it's all done, they are able to go into the pre-K classroom and be a pre-K substitute. They are fully qualified at that point. So we help them, we guide them through that whole process, we pay for everything that they need, and we want to make sure they are ready to go by the time they get in their first assignment. This is some fun stuff that we do, probably my most favorite part of the job. I started it this year in Nash County. I hadn't done it the 3 previous years, but I wish I kind of would have. So we do a sub of a month every month, and you can see that huge poster on the left. Our substitutes love that. They all want to keep it, but I only have one, so I can't give it to them. But I go and surprise them. I give them a bag full of some goodies. Just give them some recognition. It really means a lot to them. I try to get principal or the treasurer or some of those folks in the picture with them. It's just a very exciting thing. It's always a surprise, so they never know I'm coming. It's super fun. And then while I'm there, they also get a certificate. You can see in the right-hand corner. It's framed in a nice black frame, so they do get to keep that. And then while I'm there for the day, I'm also bringing thank you bags for all the substitutes in the building, so everyone is getting something in and knows that they're appreciated. So just to kind of show you that I'm the only one physically here in Nash County working for Kelly, but there are a lot of people behind the scenes, departments, many departments that help me out. You can see Caroline here under Client Services. She's right above my picture. So Chris Zuber is on there as well. So that's our Client Services team. In the middle, we have Recruiting and Onboarding team. We have Amy, Rachel, Chriselle, and Cullens. Chriselle and Cullens are my main points of contact. Chriselle is our recruiter. Cullens is our onboarder, so we're in constant contact. Chriselle is just out in Fayetteville, and Cullens is in Charlotte, so we talk to each other quite a bit. The Talent Services team is the 3rd team. That's part of Kelly Education. We have Angie, Sarah Petty, and Landon. I talk to Sarah Petty and Landon probably every single day. They help out a lot and do a lot with our substitutes every single day. So these are, again, the kind of things that I will oversee. Although I'm party of one here physically, again, there's a whole departments, lots of departments, and lots of people behind me. And then these are all the kinds of things that I will oversee on a daily basis. So I oversee frontline. I do train all your new staff as far as treasurers and bookkeepers. I will go in them, sit right next to them, show them how to log into frontline and what to do, what they're responsible for. So I actually love that part of the job. It's a lot of fun. I get to know some of them very well because we're in constant contact. Frontline support. So I think over the last couple of days, I've gotten a few new teachers. Treasurers have asked me to go ahead and put them into frontline, so that's another thing that I do. I'll input all the new teachers. If your staff has an issue, if they can't log into frontline or they forgot their username, password, I'm also responsible for that. So I partner with my team, and we make sure that all of those things are in place. Maintenance and timekeeping compliance, so all things frontline is what I'm responsible for. So I help with all of that stuff. Recruiting and onboarding. So I do a lot of the I-9s for the onboarder, since she is out in Charlotte, so sometimes I can help with that. Back to school events, you'll see me at all of those. And we also coordinate different recruiting efforts. We do have a job fair coming up this month at Braswell Library. I love their job fairs. They invite us every month, so that is another thing that that we'll do to make sure that we're recruiting for you. So attend job fairs, local events, and online and social media campaigns, recruiting and onboarding, kind of run that stuff, and I'll just make sure that everything is operating as it should be. Talent management, that's kind of the part of our company, Kelly Education, that deals with the substitutes on a daily basis. If there are same-day call-outs and no-call, no-shows, I will make sure that department knows, and there's a certain process and procedure that we need to follow for those, making sure that they're at a minimum, and there are consequences for that. Clearances and updates, so Department of Education, so a lot of the pre-K stuff, we'll work with talent to make sure that those things are taken care of. Incident support, that's a big one. So we have a whole department of our talent team that does everything from A to Z with all the incidents that happen in the schools. I could not do this without them. They've been wonderful. Incident response plan, workman's comp, anything related to that, the talent team takes care of, and payroll and benefit support as well. So when they need their W-2s that time of the year and things like that, that department will help support that. So just a few things that are benefits for our substitutes. We do have healthcare available to them. We also have insurance that they can partake in if they choose to. It's got medical, dental, vision, life insurance, disability, all that stuff. We do work with Merrill Lynch as well, so there's a retirement package. The other perks that we have are bonuses and incentives, online exercise classes, student loan counseling. The main thing that they do love, though, is the one thing I put at the bottom. They are paid weekly, so every single Friday. I know I was a teacher in Wake County for quite a while, and we're paid monthly, but they like that check every Friday. That's one of the things that they have told me that they absolutely love. So we do that for them. So this is what an incident response plan looks like. This is posted at all of the schools, typically in the nurse's office. All my treasurers should have a copy, maybe even the principals as well. So if anyone gets injured or anything happens, they have this at their access. They know to call Kelly. They know exactly what they need to do. We will take everything over for them and make sure that everyone has what they need. We can get them to urgent care, and we will follow up with them to see when they can come back to work, if they're able to come back to work, if they're going to need accommodations. We take care of all that from A to Z for them, and that is what we use. Okay, so if there is an incident in the school, substitute maybe not displaying the best behavior, it's something we need to address. Pretty much all I want you to pay attention to on this screen is the parts in gray, because that is what we need the schools for. So we assign the candidate, they start the job, the principals are monitoring, the treasurers are monitoring, the teachers next, so everyone's kind of monitoring what the substitute is doing. If something does happen, the school will reach out to me, they let me know what occurred. They typically will send the person home, and then everything kind of goes from there. If it's a situation, I will meet with Mrs. Wallace, we've done this several times. At any point in time, you all have the ability to block anyone from the district. If you say, hey, we don't want this person working in our schools anymore, we say, okay, and they no longer will work. We may terminate them, we may or may not, we'll go through the whole process. But it's not really based on what Kelly decides, it's based on what the district wants to do. So we have had that happen, not many times, but several times in the last 4 years. So that is something I wanted y'all to know. So we kind of have a try it before you buy it perk, which is kind of cool. So in our 4-year partnership, because you get to have these substitutes and they're working in there, and then schools find out, hey, we really like this person, we have had about 18, we think it's maybe a little bit more, but at least 18 that we could nail down. Kelly substitutes, y'all have hired them as full-time staff in the different positions as treasurer, bookkeeper, teachers, teacher assistants, and also office staff. So actually your person who is the bookkeeper right now at Spring Hope Elementary, Mr. Chance, he was one of ours, so you're welcome. Okay, we did go ahead and ask for some referrals. I wanted y'all to hear what your people think about what Kelly Education is doing. So I do have a few testimonials from principals and bookkeepers. I gathered a bunch of them. I couldn't put them all in here, but this is just one from Ms. Courtney Land, principal at Cooper's Elementary. I asked them specifically not to say my name, but some of them didn't listen. So it's a little embarrassing to talk about myself a little bit, but I'll just kind of walk you through it. So she says, working with Kelly Services has been a positive, seamless experience. Denise Fazio, our primary point of contact, is responsive, professional, true pleasure to work with. She consistently addresses any concerns we have regarding substitute placements, whether related to attendance, professionalism, or conduct. promptly and effectively. Denise has handled sensitive situations, including communicating with substitutes who are no longer a good fit for our school, and managing incidents such as on-site injuries with discretion and professionalism. One of the key reasons our experience with Kelly Services has been so successful is the high standard they set for their employees. Because of their clear expectations and thorough vetting process, we have been fortunate to receive a number of reliable, well-qualified candidates who support the continuity of instruction in our classrooms. Kelly Services' commitment to quality staffing has been a valuable asset to our school and community. This is another one from Jenny Walston from Englewood Elementary. She is the treasurer data manager there. She's had the pleasure of working with us for the past 2.5 years regarding substitute teacher placements. Throughout this time, their team, especially Denise, has consistently demonstrated a high level of professionalism, responsiveness, and support. While no system is without occasional challenges, at any issues that have arisen have been addressed promptly and effectively. I appreciate the open communication, the willingness of Kelly Education to resolve concerns quickly, which allows me to feel confident and supportive when working with their team. Having substitute teachers placed through Kelly Education significantly eases the workload for school treasurers, helping us manage the many demands of our roles more efficiently. I trust that our classroom will be covered reliably each day, which brings peace of mind to both staff and administration. Very nice. Ginger Carey, love Ginger Carey, principal at Middlesex Elementary. She had to say this: our partnership with Kelly Education has been an invaluable asset to our school. Their team consistently ensures we have dependable, qualified substitute teachers available whenever coverage is needed, whether it's a last-minute absence, a scheduling adjustment, or a concern involving a substitute. Kelly responds promptly and professionally, always just a phone call away. Their problem-solving approach is efficient, supportive, solution-focused. As our relationship with Kelly Education has grown, so has the consistency in coverage. We now rarely face days without sufficient substitute support. It's reassuring to work with a team so committed to helping our school operate smoothly and effectively. And then the last one, like I said, I had many. I could go on and put them all in, but I had to cut some out. Ms. Paget Waters, I think she's been with the district for 20-some years. She's from Nass Central High School. She said, before Kelly Education, our process was key the absences in the old system, call to fill vacancies, and then key the substitutes into the AS 400 for payroll. With Kelly Education, it takes much work off the bookkeeper's plates. Teachers are responsible for entering their own absences, and the substitutes are responsible to enter their absence instead of waiting for me to report to work throughout the day, or throughout the night. Kelly substitutes who want to work are searching for jobs, and many times will fill the need before I arrive in the morning. Kelly Education has removed a hefty load from the bookkeepers, therefore I'm grateful to have them on our team. Life is so much better. No matter what issues we have, Ms. Fazio takes care of it for us. I can depend on them, and the system works. So it is a mutual respect I have for the staff of Nash County Public Schools. I love my job. I love working with this district. And any questions? That's about all I have. I brought the big gun from South Carolina, so we're ready for the tough question. Whatever you got.
Anybody got any questions? I got one from Ms. Wallace. How are the principals? What's their?
I don't.
We drove 5 hours. We appreciate it.
Anytime.
Just to stand here and look pretty.
That's my job,
But,
is to be here to support what you guys need. So if you ever need me
You
to
got
come
any
back,
questions?
anything.
Wow, y'all took it easy on me this time, huh?
I think it's a great job y'all do because
so
we
much.
have not heard any complaints that I know
That's
of.
fantastic. I'm
Well, we
sorry.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we
And I
appreciate
know you've taken a big burden off our secretaries who used to do it.
I have, yes, I have. And I'm happy doing it. I truly love,
Yeah.
I love being here.
And
It's-
we're not perfect, things are
It's
gonna
a great
happen, but
partnership.
we'll work through them, part of the partnership, so we will get out of the way so Ms. Wallace can do
Y'all know
her part.
this lady's the best, y'all know that.
Thank y'all.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. So I just want to update you. At the beginning of the school year, I shared with you some financial concerns because when we had ESSER funding, we did have we felt like an unlimited supply of funding that we could pay for anything with. However, we know it was only going to be for 3 years. So I just wanted to bring you up to date on where we are with that and just give you an idea. You can see everything that Kelly Services actually provides. And with the limited resources we have in HR, we could not do it at that magnitude. So we did contract with Kelly Services in 21-22 school year, and their primary role is to recruit candidates, provide substitutes. They do fulfill all of our needs with a high fulfillment rate, and they do have competitive rates. So there are several funding sources for substitutes. The one that I primarily focus on is state. However, Title I has to set aside funding for for substitutes for federal purposes. EC does, transportation, Title IV, which includes migrant and IEL positions, and pre-K. So I just want to give you some expenditures over the course of the years. We went back as far as 2017-18, and this does include state funding, okay? So we do get funding from the state for substitutes. 17-18, we spent about $1.6 million for subs, and again, state only. 18-19, $1.4 million. 19-20, $1.3 million. 2021, that was our COVID year, it was only $391,000. 2021-22, it was $1.7 million. That was when we started the ESSER funding, and that did include all of our departments. In 2022-2023, it was $2.9 million. That was with ESSER funding, and that included all departments. And 23-24, $2.6 million, that was also ESSER funding, and that included all department. Right now, where we currently are, as of last week, I think when we did this report, for state only, we're at $1.1 million. So we're still within our threshold, and we go through the end of May. Just to give you an idea of what the rates look like for our substitutes, right now, if it's a certified teacher and they are subbing in a certified role, they make $130.50 a day. Non-certified teachers subbing in a certified role is $107.50. If a certified teacher does complete lesson plans, if we need them for long-term needs, or we have a vacancy for a long-term, it is $135.50 a day. The non-certified staff that completes lesson plans is $112.50 a day. If I have a certified TA in a role, it's $14.45 per hour, and if it's a non-certified TA, it's $13.45 per hour. Kind of sums up where we are currently. Do you have any questions for me?
How does our pay compare to surrounding counties with the exception of Wade?
Very comparable, and in some areas above. But we did have to bring the substitutes up to at least $15 an hour when that biennium year took place. Yes.
I got any more questions? All right.
Okay, thank you. Wait.
Hold on.
So it's just $5 more if you were on lesson plan?
We got to stay within the budget.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do I need to repeat it? My question was, certified subs who do lesson plans get an additional $5 per day.
Yes, sir. But keep in mind, they are planning with the team.
Okay.
It's
okay.
not in isolation.
Thank
Okay.
you for the clarification.
Thank you.
I'm just speaking from experience as a teacher, preparing lesson plans. Okay.
Thank you, Ms.
That might be
Wallace.
more difficult than actually standing in front of the students and teaching.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. I skipped, approval of the meetings from last month. Can, I get a motion to approve the meetings?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Let's see, so I can go through this name again. Vote, Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mr. Whitfield, and Mr.
Yes.
All right. Now, this lady always has good news. Hopefully she's got good news tonight as well. Ms. Miller.
No pressure at all. Good evening.
Good evening.
So the first part of mine is for information only for the focus group for the new Southern Nash Middle School. The good news is, we are under contract with land, 33.7 acres. It is being environmentally tested at this time. That is underway. The projected closing date is May 22nd, and at that time, we'll be able to discuss more detail on location. And we were able to get everything signed, and we're in the process of moving forward. Today, as far as it relates to the RFQ, we are requesting that the board accept Oakley Collier as the selection for the architect to design the new school. We had a group of 5 architects that actually submitted bids. We did the interview process. One of those pulled out during that process because they had taken on another job and could not meet our timeline. These 4 candidates did a presentation for the committee. We tallied up all the scores with the questions, and Oakley Collier did win that bid. I'll take any questions that you have at this time. This is just for us to move forward with the selection process. We have not contacted anyone at this time, nor have we done a contract. That will come later. And we have not negotiated a contract. They are not aware. We have notified no one.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept Oakley Collier.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Let's take a vote in reference to carry this to the full board Monday night. Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mr. Whitfield.
Yes.
I'm a yes, of course. Anything else on that?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
One other thing I'd like to recognize,
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. You go ahead, you the chair.
I'd like to recognize Mr. Davis for all the help and all the hard work he's done to get us this far.
And he was actually a part of our interview committee team with the architects. So
How
it's
about-
been a very good
How
relationship.
about name the interview team?
Sure. Okay. Myself, Dennis Fields, Dr. Farrow, Melissa Dancy Smith, Mr. Robbie Davis, and we had Jeff Rogers was on our team for question and answer. He works with us. He's our assistant director for maintenance.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
With that, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
Down to the second one, Mr. Weeks, Policy Committee.
All right, the Politics Committee is open. I will roll call for here. Mr. Dutton?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gray?
Here.
Dr. Washington?
Here.
Mr. Edwards? Here. Motion to approve the minutes from last session.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That is it for this session. We are adjourned. Motion.
Next, Academic Services and Accountability, Mr. Bissett.
Right, so we'll start off with roll call of committee members. Dr. Washington? Here. Mr. Lamb?
Here.
Mr. Dunton?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gray? Here. And myself, all present. So first item, we would approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Ms. Nancy Smith, time to buy some books.
Mr. Jenkins, we're back. We had thank you. We had a running joke last month, but we're back.
Thank you.
Oh, yo. No, I'm just kidding.
We're sharing quite a bit of information with you tonight. So what we wanted to do is ensure that you had a breakdown that summarizes what we're paying for our textbooks. So from 3 to 5 years, we stand in front of you and we request the adoption of new core instructional resources, not supplemental, but the bare minimum that we need to ensure that we can provide teaching and learning. And that is why I'm here in front of you tonight. We do not take for granted that core resources probably is one of our largest investments, and that falls behind personnel and also student safety. And again, we don't take that for granted. But I do want you to know that we have a robust process in selecting our resources. We start first at the district level by using ed reports, and we narrow down all of the many resources out there to what we consider to be the top 3. And that process starts with our executive directors of secondary and elementary education, our content specialists, and me. Over the past few years, we've used what we call Ed Reports. And Ed Reports is a tool that provides high-leverage, evidence-based, rich reports to school and district leaders to help us evaluate the quality of the instructional materials that we want to put in our schools. Ed Reports look at really 2 things. The most important is standard alignment. Then it looks at focus and coherence, scope and sequence, just making sure that things fit nicely based on national standards as well as rigor. And then it looks at usability. Usability provides ample teacher supports in using the book. Is it easy for teachers to follow? And does it provide support for our students? I do want to share with you that Marzano says, and he's a renowned researcher when it comes to teaching and learning, that creating a guaranteed, viable curriculum is the #1 factor for increased levels of learning. And we pride ourselves on putting what we consider the best resources in our students' hands. Next slide, please. Did you share the very first one? Could you go back to the very first slide that highlights the team? And I do want to share that we have a team that consists of Caroline Aycock, who is our Director of Digital Teaching and Learning, Karen Boone, yours truly. We had representation from each one of our elementary and middle schools for science as well as math. I failed to include EC because we had Amanda Wiggs as a part of the team as well. And then we had our executive directors and our content specialists of science. Note that we also had representation from our parent advisory council members as well. The next person who will come and speak to you will be Mr. White. And I think he's going to share with you the timeline that we used.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. So the next slide is our timeline. And this started back in June of 2024. However, we did postpone the adoption process because if you remember, we were going through a demerger. And it's important for us to get the accurate numbers for each school, and it was very late when we got those numbers. So this started in the fall of 2024, and looking at what options were available, what vendors we had available, resources. And you heard Ms. Nancy Smith talking about the ed reports. We also looked at the North Carolina Textbook Commission report, and all the resources that we bring before you tonight were all highly recommended by these companies. So very important to note. Then in January, we had vendors come out to present their information to our committees. After they presented and were able to have Q&A with our committee, they had a whole month to explore each product, have full access to everything, And after that 1 month, we asked by March 7th that they would return their recommendations, and they did so. And so that's kind of like the timeline of what we went through this school year. For the process, we had the overview selection process with open discussions with the vendors, like I said. One thing I do want to mention with STYLE, our 6-8 science resource that we're bringing before you tonight, they actually came out and taught a lesson with a class at Nass Central Middle, so the committee could actually see how it's used and the product's used and work in live time. So I thought that was very impressive. And then we also had parents to attend, and they were able to give their feedback as well. I'm going to turn it over now, I think, to Ms. Hargrove Jones.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So Mr. White shared really what the process was for the presentations, but the committee members were made up of representation from each school that we have. So principals had the opportunity to name teachers from each grade span to serve on that committee, and those teachers were a part of those vendor presentations. They also were tasked with going back to their school and leading the exploration work. So they were the ones that really took the materials back. Materials were delivered directly to schools. They led in their PLC groups, going through and giving those rubrics for each resource. For parent engagement, we did solicit the help from Dr. Royster, our parent coordinator, to invite our parent advisory council members. We did not get the number of outside parents we would have wanted at these sessions. However, we were fortunate that a lot of our teachers that served in the teacher role were able to be in a dual role because they're also our parents in the district and were able to give their input. So now I'll turn it over to Karen Boone, who's our K-5 math specialist, to talk about our recommendation for K-5 math.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, so go to the next one, please. Oh, I've got it. All right. Okay. So we were very deliberate in ensuring that all teacher voices were heard, including in this whole selection process. And so we really, our intention was to, go through and really pick a core math resource that is strong, focused with maximizing student outcomes, but also a tool that is effective for teachers and very friendly for teachers, because we know they're there every day, and it needs something that supports their job, which is difficult every day. So each of our 68 grade level teams, so that's how many grade levels did these rubrics, reviewed the top 3. And so the options that they used was a standardized rubric, and it assessed key instructional and usability criteria. So the accompanying pie up here, it illustrates the percentage of total points that each vendor received from each of those 68 grade levels. So it's reflecting comprehensive teacher input across all of our grade levels in all of our schools. So you're gonna see the next, I keep trying to, Tremaine, I want you to help me. Sorry, Tremaine. The top 2 vendors received closely aligned scores you're going to see as shown in the previous pie graph and also in your handout. Ultimately, we selected iReady Mathematics to recommend to you all due to its comprehensive support for teachers and students. It includes a built-in professional development, a robust instructional resources for our teachers in one area that they go and get. It has a diagnostic assessment and the ability from that assessment to make an individualized student plan. So everything is what as teachers like to say, one-stop shop, and it's teacher friendly. And that's, we've got their important. So you're going to see that our selection that we used, it met all of our criteria. And we even saved some money. So you'll look up here, the selection met instructional. What are y'all laughing at? The instructional priorities, but also resulted in a cost savings. You know, we're all about savings. So there's our savings. So you're going to see that Satis was first, but not by much when you're looking at the total cost, total points of all 68 grade levels.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Crazy.
So I am presenting our results for Science Core Instruction Resource for the 25-26 school year. Our goal in this process was to ensure that every grade level span had curriculum options tailored to the unique needs of each grade level span. So for K2, the teachers favored Science for Us. This is a digital product, which is the sister product of Gizmos that we are already using in our 312 classrooms. Adding Science for Us to that existing contract would be an additional $11,497.97. The key features that teachers appreciated about this product was its strong literacy integration, which is critical in those grade levels as students are learning how to read. As well as the flexibility of the lessons given their time constraints with teaching science. If you would like more details about this product, I have some samples. All right, for 3.5, our teacher's favorite Discovery Ed. This is also another digital product. What our teachers really liked about this product, and I'll go back, our teachers have used this product in the past, so they're very, very familiar with this product. But this digital product allows them to translate into over 60 languages, so that will meet the diverse needs of all of our multilingual students. And that includes videos, audio, all of that will translate into their native language. It's student-friendly videos and text, and they also provide ready-made lessons, informative assessments for our teachers as well. The cost here is a 3-year contract. So for 3 years, the total cost of this product would be $217,522.50. And you can see the year breakdown. And for our 6-8 product, Mr. White alluded to this earlier about their product presentation. On the top of that stack is an actual capture of our Nash County teachers, their feedback on the product based on our pilot, the month pilot. So that's their captured voices of their usage. It was unanimous in their decision of that being the core resource that they would like to use. What about this product was that they can customize the product based on things that they're already using, and that it was truly aligned to North Carolina because the company built the product specific to North Carolina. Some key features that we will be getting with this product, we have digital access for 6th through 8th grade, PDF workbooks, lab kits that would be 1 per grade level per school, professional learning, and then with a 20% discount, that is because of an early adoption rate. The total cost would be $263,779.60. Mr. White.
So we presented the resources to you, and now we open up for any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for them? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to accept this contract to take to the full board.
So move. Second.
Motion by Gray, second by Dunton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Ms. Hargrove Jones, Summer Scholars Academy. She's always smiling.
That's right. No need not to. So I come before you, as I do every year around this time, to share with you our plans for the Summer Scholars Academy and also to get your approval. So part of it is for information, but I'm also asking for your approval for the bonuses that we will offer teachers for our summer programs. So with our mission being to provide those high quality academic and social experiences for all, we also want to extend that to through the close of the regular school year. And we do that with our Summer Scholars Program. It really hits of our 5 focus areas, academic success. What you see here is just a graphic of all of the things that we have going on after the close of the regular school year. We have that summer assessment opportunity that they don't want us to call the retest. It's really the retest. So that is on this timeline. But we really are going to focus this evening on the things that are marked SSA 2025. So for elementary, the only summer program that we are offering is required by legislation, and that is the Read to Achieve Summer Camp for grades 2 and 3. We will also offer our migrant program. Mr. Daza will host that again this year. And for high schools, we will have credit recovery. So those are the programs this summer. Our programs will start with elementary Read to Achieve Camp June 23rd through July 17th. We will break for that week of June 30th for the July 4th holiday. The migrant program will run through that same time, and high schools will actually start with credit recovery on June 18th. So who is eligible? When we're thinking about the second graders that we will invite to Summer Scholars Academy, they are our students who at the end of our end of year test window are either scoring with strategic risk or intensive risk for reading difficulty. Our testing window opened yesterday, and it will close on May 20th, so we'll know exactly what students we are inviting from second grade at that point. In third grade, we are required to invite any student who has not met a 725 Lexile, and that's just a measure of the level that they're reading at, and that is the pass rate for Read to Achieve legislation. So third grade students have multiple opportunities to demonstrate that 725 Lexile. It can be at their beginning of the year assessment, M-Class, which is our K3, or really K5, reading assessment. We have a STAR assessment and their EOG. So they're doing M-Class now and STAR, but they'll have other opportunities. So we really won't know how many third graders we will invite until the close of the end of the year assessment window with EOG and Read to Achieve testing. For high school, we will once again offer credit recovery. All traditional high schools will have 100 concurrent seats. We're asking principals to start with seniors and then go to juniors and sophomores and then freshmen for that opportunity. Our elementary SSA sites will be Nashville, and Nashville will host Cooper's and the summer migrant program. Bailey will host Middlesex and Spring Hope as well. Winstead Avenue, and they will host Inglewood and Bienvenue. Red Oak Elementary, and Red Oak will also host Hubbard, and Edwards will be a standalone site. So we have 5 elementary sites for SSA. Transportation will be offered, meals will be served. Any of our summer sites will be the summer feeding sites as well as they have been in the past. The high school credit recovery will be on the campus of each high school. Here's a look at the schedule for that June 23rd through July 17th. With the early start of our calendar, we kind of pushed our dates back. So instead of, normally we would run a 4-week program, but we're running a 3-week program to get the required. We are required by law to give those students 72 hours of reading instruction. So in order to get that in 3 weeks and go Monday through Thursday, going on Fridays is a deal breaker for our teachers that we're trying to recruit. So we figured that we would just go a full day. So students in elementary will be there from 8 to 3, which is a normal school day. Our teachers will go 7:30 to 3:30. In high school, they don't have the 72 hours, but they also are extending the amount of time that they will have students, since they as well have a shortened window. Their students will go from 8 to 2:30, and staff will work 7:30 to 3 o'clock. And it's just a note that we're pulling for elementary. Teachers will come on June 18th and 19th for work days to set up their room, learn about the summer curriculum, have parents in for orientation. And high school credit recovery, they don't have to do all of that, so they will actually start with students on those days. So this is the item that requires an action. We, through legislation, have to offer a signing bonus for teachers. We're trying our best to recruit our best reading teachers to serve our most at-risk students this summer. So if they meet those 3 categories, if they're associated with high growth in reading, which is an EVAS score of at least 1 or above, if they were awarded a reading performance bonus from DPI from the state, and if they just accept employment, they qualify for that $1,200 signing bonus, and we'll pay that up front before they work. And then at the end of the camp, for every 3rd grade student that they have that passes that 725 Lexile during the course of the program, they get a $150 bonus for each student. Any questions about any of our SSA programs? All right, so yes, sir, Mr. Gray.
What's the maximum number of students that can be served?
We'll serve as many as we're required to by law. So we can't say, we're only going to take these 200 students and we have 500 to qualify, and we won't have that many.
Okay.
But we try to keep a 1-to-18 class ratio, so we just keep on recruiting and accepting teachers until we can serve all.
And this is an invitation and it's not a requirement?
It is not. We cannot make them come. We can strongly encourage parents to send their students, but we can't require them to come.
But there is a cap on credit recovery, correct?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
If there are no other questions.
Why no option for middle school?
Well, we had it in the past. If you know, for the past, how many years since Esther? We had programs for everyone. It is really, at this point, of funding. Like, we don't have the ESSER funds that we had before.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to get that out there so when people
Yes.
realize we don't have it.
I would love to wrap up pre-K, K1, all of them in it, too. Yeah. Any other questions?
And thank you for mentioning that funding issue. With that issue, that's something that we need to address with our state legislature, correct?
Absolutely. We would love to offer extended learner opportunities for more students.
Okay, so we need to follow up with our
Yes,
state
please.
legislature to get the funding to provide those opportunities for all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if there are no more questions, another
No more
question?
questions?
Then the superintendent recommends that we approve the $1,200 sign-in bonus and $150 performance bonus for SSA teachers.
So moved.
Motion by Grace, second by Washington. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep smiling. Always smiling, all the time. Mr. Thompson. CTE application. Smile for me. Yeah, you gotta smile. That's a hard smile to follow now.
So tonight, good evening, first of all. Tonight, I'm going to present our CTE local application. Our local application runs on a 2-year cycle. This is the 2nd year of that cycle. So it will be the same application that we will continue to implement. So I wanted to share a few things with you tonight. So first of all, what is the local application? As you can see there, it's funding application for our CTE programs. It identifies the needs and priorities within our CTE programs ensures our CTE programs adhere to legislation, and identifies the areas of focus for this upcoming year. Within the local application, we do have our performance and data indicators. We have narratives in there about how we want to continue to help programs and fund programs and so forth. The funding grants in there, which is our state and federal funding grants, assurances, and then our comprehensive local needs assessment. I did want to share this with you. This is our continuum for the district, and this is what we try to shoot for in our district for CTE. As you can see in elementary, we think it's important to start career discussions and talk in elementary, so we want to explore in middle school, engage in our high school, and then we even move it out to post-secondary, which would include college, the military, or our workforce. These are some examples of activities we try to do in each of those levels at our elementary, middle, high school, and post-secondary. And then I did want to cover our priorities that are in the local application. So we want to continue to focus on the articulated credit alignment for college credit. That means our courses that we teach in high school, some of them can count for college credit as well. And so we want parents and our students to know about those. Create a robust career development plan. As you know, it's legislated already. So we are working for those career development plans for our 6th through 12th graders. Building CTE teaching capacity, offering industry-recognized credentialing opportunities, advertise and market our CTE programs, retain and recruit our CTE teachers, quality CTE teachers, enhance our career and technical organizations, student organizations. Those are organizations like FFA, Skills USA, FCCLA. Continue to build our partners' capacity there with our labor market, and then provide more work-based learning experiences. Those are our focuses in our local application. Just once again, the funding grants. These are the grants that are funded with our local application, which are months of employment, state funding for materials and those things that we need in CTE, and then we have federal funding as well. Okay, and I will, any questions, entertain any questions.
Okay, no questions. Entertain a motion to approve the application.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Washington, second by Lamb. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Dr. Mudd. There you go, you got a smile.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be brief. One item on the agenda for information only. We have some teachers participating in a research study that was funded through the Department of Education to DPI. And then we had a couple of teachers at Spring Hope Elementary School that wanted to sign up. And so they will be getting some PD on math instruction with their students for the next couple years. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer what I can. Otherwise, that is for your information only tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank y'all.
Mr. White, take some field trips.
So we have full.
He's smiling, I like
I'm
it.
smiling. Full field trips seeking superintendent approval. They all do meet our qualifications or requirements, and no funding for the district for these trips.
So moved.
Question for Mr. White? Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Gray. Ask a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dutton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries, and that will adjourn the Academic Services Committee.
Support Services and Operation Committee. I hate to say Dr. Chavis had a medical emergency this afternoon, so please, everybody, keep her in your prayers. I don't know anything other than she was gonna be operated on at Wake. I will entertain, well, let me call the roll. Dr. Washington?
Here.
Mr. Weeks,
Here.
Mr. Whitfield,
Here.
Mr. Edwards.
Here.
I'm entertaining a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Weeks, second by Mr. Whitfield. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed likewise. And that's all we have for this committee. We'll adjourn this committee.
That's it.
Anything anybody needs to add for the committee meeting, we have it. We are adjourned.
Thank you, sir.
Frank?